What's up, guys? There are so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless. Welcome back to Ben's Book Club. Today, we are diving into the book, The Courage to be Disliked. And let me tell you, the title alone is something that really makes you stop and think. So, let me ask you something. Do you ever feel stuck? Like your past is just holding you hostage, dictating your future? Or maybe you feel like you're constantly living for someone else's approval. If any of that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place because the book we're talking about today tackles this head on. It's not your typical self-help guide. It's more like a deep philosophical conversation that's going to challenge pretty much everything we think we know about freedom and happiness. Okay, so let's get into the meat of it. The book's foundation is built on something called Adlerian psychology from Alfred Adler, who is actually a peer of Freud. And the very first idea it throws at you, it's a big one. It's this radical idea that your past has absolutely no power over you. None. So what does that actually mean? Well, take a look at this. On the left, you've got etiology, which is probably how most of us think. It's all about cause and effect, right? I am unhappy because of my childhood. Simple. But on the right, you have teleology, which is the Adlerian view. And it just flips the script completely. It's not about the cause, it's about the purpose. From this perspective, you'd say, I am choosing to be unhappy so that I don't have to face the risk of changing. Yeah, think about that for a second. The idea here is that we're not actually victims of our past trauma. Instead, this philosophy says we kind of weaponize our past experiences. We unconsciously use them as an excuse to stay where we are. It is a really tough idea to grapple with, but at the same time, it's so freeing, isn't it? It means you get to write your own story, starting right now. All right, so if the past isn't the problem, then what is? Well, the book doesn't stop there. It hits you with another massive, sweeping claim that gets to the very core of all our daily struggles. Get this. The book argues that all problems are interpersonal relationship problems. Every single one. I mean, think about it. If you were totally alone in the universe, would you feel inferior or lonely or anxious? Probably not. Those feelings only pop up when there are other people in the picture to compare ourselves to or to seek approval from. Let's actually break this down because it's a huge idea. That feeling of inferiority, it only exists because you're comparing yourself to someone else. That anxiety you feel, you're probably just seeking approval or fearing someone's judgment. Stressed out, you're worried about what others think. And anger, the book says that's just a power struggle between you and another person. It always comes back to our relationships. Okay, I know this all might sound a little abstract, maybe a bit out there, but here's where the book gets super practical. It gives us a tool to deal with all this stuff. It's called the separation of tasks, and honestly, it's a total game changer for cutting down on stress. And the logic behind it is just so simple and powerful. A lot of our stress and misery comes from one of two things. Either we're trying to do someone else's job, or we're letting them do ours. The way to fix it is to ask one simple question. Whose task is this? If the final result belongs to someone else, if you can't ultimately control it, then it is not your problem to solve. Let's make this real with some examples. Imagine you have a big presentation at work. Your task? To prepare like crazy and give the best presentation you possibly can. What's not your task? Whether your boss likes it. That's their task, their reaction. Or how about a kid with homework? Your task is to support them, create a good space for them to work. But whether they actually sit down and do it, ultimately, that's their task. See, this isn't about being cold or not caring. It's about freedom. It's about not carrying weight that isn't yours to carry. And once you really start practicing this, separating your tasks, letting go of what you can't control, you naturally arrive at the book's core idea, the big one, the one in the title. And here it is. The courage to be disliked. It's not about being a jerk or trying to get people to hate you. Not at all. It's actually a sign that you are finally living freely according to your own principles instead of bending over backwards for everyone else's approval. Because think about it, the need to be liked is a trap. It's not freedom. It's like you're letting everyone else hold the remote control to your life. They get to decide how you feel and what you do. Real freedom is taking that remote back and accepting that, you know what, some people just aren't going to like the channel you choose, and that has to be okay. So there's one last major piece to this puzzle, and it's about how we view life itself. The book suggests that most of us are caught in what it calls a life lie. This idea that life is a race, that we have to suffer through the now to get to some imaginary finish line in the future. But Adler's view is totally different. Life isn't a straight line heading towards a destination. It's a series of points, a series of moments, just like this one. It's not a race, it's a dance. And when you're dancing, the point isn't to get to the end of the room, right? The point is the dancing itself. Every single moment is complete. The meaning is found right here, in the now. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. Freedom isn't something you get later. It's not a reward for a life well lived. Your past doesn't hold you back. Other people's opinions don't control you. The power to change, to be free, exists entirely in this moment, right now. So the only real question is, what are you waiting for? Subscribe so you don't miss an episode.